And we're live.
Marcus is live.
We are live. Hey, folks, thanks for tuning into the BAMF podcast. I am your host, Mike Lafferty, and just one second.
That's how we know.
That's how we know it's a high-quality, artisanally handcrafted podcast coming to your ear holes.
I love that it's artisanally
crafted. It's a bespoke podcast. Hey, with us today is Julian from Enemy Spotted Studios. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Appreciate you being here, and you're kind of a mystery man, as Walt was pointing out before the show. With your boom mic right there, we can't really see who you are.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. We have half of a face.
Half a face.
All right, cool.
Confuse those facial recognition programs.
Yeah, the feds will never get it.
I feel you. I'd make a ginger joke, but my wife's a ginger. I'd get in trouble. So
yeah.
nice to have you, sir. And as always, Walt Rebellier next to me, the guy with the swords, our frequent co-host. And
swords, knives,
knives. I am ravaged by COVID at the moment, so it's why I'm sweaty and slightly lower in energy. So I'm going to let Walt take the lead on this podcast. So Walt,
I thought that was your normal state there.
Yeah, I wish. No, just feel like I have mono or something, man. It's bad. You don't want this.
No. So here's their website for Enemy Spotted Studios. If you don't know these guys, they do some amazing crafting on of STL files that you can turn into minis for your game table. And I mean, just like killer stuff. They did the Legionnaire squads for Galaxy's Edge. We have the Alpha squad and now the Beta squad. And just, I mean, like literally it's 10 pounds of awesome in a 4-pound bag. But Julian, would you want to tell us a little bit about the studio and how you got started?
Yeah, absolutely. So Enemy Spotted Studios kind of started as a fun project to learn 3D design, 3D sculpting, as well as create specific miniatures I thought were lacking in the available market, but mostly just for fun. We quickly moved into supporting veteran suicide awareness, Mission 22, several other programs over the year. We've been active, as that is a large part of my kind of philanthropic ideas, and I want to support them, and it's nice to just give stuff away like that. So we've kind of transitioned from that into several STL files. You can see we have membership programs, and we design with a focus on realism, modern military aspects, and actual kind of combat rather than what you see out there right now, which is like kind of girls in bikinis, weird looking weapons, bad shooting posture, stuff out there. Are huge focuses on realism, actual stuff you'd see in real life, as well as transitioning that into a science fiction universe. Yeah, it's kind of our spiel.
Yeah, it's really dope. We were talking on the Galaxy's Edge podcast a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about that Bravo Squad model where you had the shooter walking forward, and he's in a shooter's gate. That rolling footwork that keeps your sight picture steady versus the plodding of a normal footfall, where your rifle barrel is bouncing up and down and up and down. And that was very, very evident in the way that the miniature looked. And you could really tell that. It was pretty dope.
That's awesome. You noticed that. Yeah.
And then of course you got the the Galaxy's Edge stuff. And in the Bravo model, the Bravo models is where we saw it originally. But just like, I mean, this craftsmanship, this artwork, what you guys are doing with 3D sculpting is just incredible.
Yeah, that's the next level stuff. We should probably mention, in case there's people on the show who aren't familiar with Galaxy's Edge, it's a popular military science fiction novel series by Jason Anspach and Nick Cole, and they're coming out with various new books all the time. And I think Walt might be working on a. Can we talk about that, Walt? Is it still NDA? Oh yeah, can't say a damn thing. Sorry.
So yeah, but I'm kind of working on the back end, making sure that a lot of this stuff comes out. We have the Galaxy's Edge role-playing game that's going to be rolling out and using a lot of these same minis. But I mean, even if you go to the Galaxy's Edge section on the Enemy Spotted Studios website, once you you pick up your purchase, you get a free booklet of ready-to-play rule set right at the table. But in kind of keeping with that, Julian, why don't you tell us a little bit about your about the Kickstarter and what kind of prompted it?
Yeah, absolutely. So the current Kickstarter Enemy Spotted Studios is designing for and running is called Kill Wager. Hey, and we just got a pledge. Kill Wager is a high-speed, very tactical, very lethal combat miniatures game system intended for 1 to 6 models on a 2x2 foot board average. I don't know if your target audience here is familiar with games, but basically you're going to be using miniatures to represent a squad of soldiers on the battlefield to complete various objectives using dice to determine outcomes, as well as actual battle drills, maneuvers, and tactics used and implemented in real life to accomplish these goals. the universe is a very, very specific mixture of near science fiction and modern day. You could play the game in both settings. It draws basically about 30 years into the future, so not too far into the future, but kind of fun stuff that we can implement. And all of it is with that kind of Enemy Spotted Studios design ethos of actual use, realism, and implementation of tactics and battle drills mentioned before. So it's very tactical, very small, very fast, and very easy to play, but with a lot of depth to it based on positioning and stuff rather than more gamified elements like I got you with this ability or you just don't survive this special railgun attack, things like that. It's more about positioning actual tactics.
Yeah. And that comes from your time in the United States Army, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I had a large focus on infantry and small unit tactics, which were my favorite. I did a lot of historical research as well as actual maneuvering and kind of troop leadership. And I believe that's implemented very well alongside some input from actual special forces operators or whatever you kind of want to call them, as well as a lot of guys I worked with in the Ranger units that had actual hands-on field experience leading small units in direct actions, which is kind of what Kill Wager bases itself around, is that last 15 seconds, maybe 20 minutes total of a battle, or maybe you've run a series of missions and now you've got the bad guys' intel and you're hitting that safe house or that final big shootout at the end of a movie.
Sweet. Well, congrats on funding, overfunding. Like, it looks like, I'm guessing you have 6 days to 24 days to go out of a 30-day campaign, and you're at 23 grand out of a, what's that, boy, 6,500 goal. Wow. So
yeah,
it's knocked out of the park. Way to go.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been really exciting seeing it get traction.
Sweet. So I like that you talk about it's a fast miniatures game, because my problem with miniature games was always, it's a whole night.
Mm-hmm.
It can take forever. And it sounds like you've kind of cracked the code and you've got a fast moving, fun game. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So my experience growing up playing tons of miniature games, we've come from, Warhammer 40,000 and other popular science fiction ones like that to Bolt Action or other World War II games. They've always been 2 hours tops. Like 90 minutes to 2 hours. The fastest ones have been an hour, and those are never fun. Somebody just gets straight shot off the board. Especially Warhammer, where you can basically walk away from the board while your opponent just shoots your dudes.
Yeah.
Never been a fan of that. So Kill Wager is all about consistency, consecutive games, and speed of play. So you can play an average game in less than 20 minutes, and the intent is to play several games within the span of one other Warhammer game or other miniatures game. The large focus revolves around telling a story. So, for example, in this video that's showing, the Butcher and I here, this is our first in a series of 2 games we play for the pickup mode called Killer Takes All. So we kind of pre-build a squad, come into it, we see who we're fighting, and then based on that, we determine an agenda for the game, play in less than 20 minutes, reset, keep that score running, play another game, and at the end of that, you count up your score. The interesting thing about this is you can actually wager money in the game and earn points by doing that. So, for example, Butcher entered this game with, I think, $3,000 out of his $6,000 spent on a wager. So he underbid real hard. And even though he had less guys and totally got slapped, he actually still managed to complete the objective for much cheaper and ended up winning. So things like that come into play, and outside elements influence the game. But overall, it's core 20 minutes. Everything's tracked using dice. You have 2 dice, D10s, D6, and then a D4 that's optional. You don't have any tokens. You don't have any BS, no templates, no explosions. You just need a tape measure, some miniatures, and dice.
Well, that's beautiful. I love the idea of a 20-minute miniature game.
Yeah.
Just flashing back to like 2 hours playing BattleTech.
Right.
Although I had a buddy back in the 90s when he was deployed to West Germany. You'd play BattleTech in the barracks, and they found a way to really add up the stakes. They brought a hammer to the table. And whoever wins got to take the hammer to your to the loser's mech. So something to consider for a supplement, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, real special one there at events. You just smash an opponent's model, can't use it.
Yeah, but yeah, you guys, like as Walt noted, you guys have beautiful models. It'd be a shame to take a hammer to them.
Now what is? Let's talk about the tiers a little bit and like some of the stuff that you guys have going on in the Kickstarter. Like what's the prime goal? Like, a lot of model companies coming out and are doing Kickstarter these days, and their whole bang is to fund with just the STLs or just the models. What are some of the tiers getting you, and what have you seen people pledging toward?
Yeah, absolutely. So you have to kind of delineate the Kickstarter between two several product categories. With the near future, then we have the modern or the ultra modern category. A lot of the near future stuff, all the near future stuff is actually physical only, and that's because it is a kill wager kind of intellectual property. While modern and the modern miniature crowd, after a lot of market research over the past year, much prefer STL availability rather than just straight physical. So we've gone ahead and released a lot of STLs just for the moderns. But the big
That's interesting. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. They like that. They prefer to print their own.
Yeah, it's much more of a like a hobbyist crowd. They prefer, the exact units. They prefer to paint them that way. They prefer to reenact scenarios, which requires, specific printing. They'd rather get it at home. And actually, a lot of them play at different scales, 15 millimeter to 54 millimeter. So providing the STLs, especially the modern ones, at like a crazy high quality that we design at, while they might not print and see like the eyeballs and the actual eyelashes at 28 millimeter, some of these guys play at 54 and appreciate those details. So. Yeah. But the tiers are split between physical and digital, and then there's the give me all that baby or the all in baby, which is both, and that's the highest one that comes with all the add-ons and everything. So each tier actually comes with the digital content as well, and that's to make the game as accessible as possible, which is another key facet of Kill Wager. You get STLs to print at home, PDF rulebook, and all the cards and tokens actually cut out at home. So you get everything with that seasonal digital content with every pledge. So you get the rulebook and print everything at home, including the objectives and 3D models if you'd like to play a game.
I muted myself. Go ahead.
No, you please, sir.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I went in for the 25s because I have some people that are probably going to be interested in this, and they're going to want those like specific units, and a bunch of them are hobbyist 3D printers. So they were all excited to hear about STL files that they could get and kind of put together on this. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting to have a kind of split like that. So these near future ones you're scrolling past are like the kind of premier product of the Kickstarter, and they come with in a squad option, so you can see the different weapon systems available as well as the equipment and the attachments like the dogs and such. So those are the near future or the Kill Wager universe models, while the ultra modern rangers and contractors are available as well. It's broken down by squad. So for example, the $65 pledge gets you a squad and the rules and the online content, while the $120 pledge would allow you to choose 2 squads. So I'm trying to keep it as open as possible, let those modern guys in if they do want physicals, as well as promote the near future ones, which are a lot more design time and kind of specific to the Kill Wager universe, maybe not as applicable outside of it.
So are we going to see a model sculpted of the head goon?
I actually have a couple of goons going on. We had a limited production metal run, so he was cast in pure metal, and that was pretty popular. That was like kind of a prelude to the Kickstarter process. And so I don't know, you might see more goons. We're definitely collaborating with a few YouTube personalities to get basically who's in that PC. Oh, that's awesome. I like how the comment pops up there. I wasn't used to that. I love it. You're good. So we got the metal goon going on. That's an OG sculpt you might see come back. And then we've got there's a YouTuber we really like, and he does the LARP News Network. He kind of makes fun of airsofters and stuff. So his personality is Bend Over from the LARP News Network. So he's wearing a balaclava. You'll see him come up with his little microphone, and he'll be an auditor model. Yeah. So answer Powwow Chief. Most proud of. I can't tell you who wins in the end. It's a seasonal release, so the fiction of the game will actually advance by season next year. We'll have 4 seasons with different fiction coming out based on the games players submit and influence using the campaign missions. But I am a huge fan of Manticore. I'm a Manticore guy at heart. But the new faction coming out, you will probably like a little bit more, as I do. They're more speed focused. They have like jetpacks on their like lower hips, very Titanfall-esque. But Manticore with the big breaching shields and attack dogs, they're just brutal, and yeah. They've got boarding axes, and they can just kind of breach through walls with power armor, then get their axe on if you're a little too close to them. I do that in one battle report, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
I just said Space Vikings.
Hell yeah.
They're actually not Russian. You know what I mean? They're not Russian.
Can you talk about the different factions and overall Kill Wager universe, just to give people a hint of what they're buying into?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a very short paragraph on there kind of describing the overall universe. Basically, within 5 years of our timeline, we discover a new planet. There's a bit of a media surge that blows up over the next 5 years about this new planet. So we're at 10 years past our timeline now. The United Nations is kind of shifting things towards this planet's focus, and people are like, hey, it's habitable. Why are we still sitting around? And there's a big kind of ecological push, basically what we're at now, but ramped up. So global warming is a huge problem for people in the public's eye. I'm not saying like science-wise or any kind of debatable weird PC stuff, but like in the public's eye in this universe, let's get off this planet or make it better. And a lot of people and the United Nations kind of collaborate to send colony ships to this planet. And the media and the presentation of it is, if you feel disenfranchised or you want to take a shot at this, the UN is funding this initial colony launch to the planet. So tons of people, independent groups, small state-sponsored groups kind of send assets, people, and colonists to this new planet. It takes about 45 years to get there. So they eventually land on this planet and, inhabit it. They colonize it. They get stuff started. It has lower oxygen counts than Earth, and oxygen is concentrated in the lower areas. So a lot of craters and kind of populations spring up around the initial landing site, stuff like that. Eventually, about 30 years pass, and people from Earth show up unannounced. And they show up faster than everybody thought because technology has actually developed on Earth faster. And this is a lot more independent corporations and stuff like that. And the United Nations kind of has a hold on this new planet and is like, hey, guys, chill out. This initial launch was basically just colonists, citizens. We can't vet who you are. And then some stuff starts breaking down socially. The UN isn't handling it very well. And then 15 years later, while these independents are kind of held off or forced to the other side of the planet, state powers all of a sudden show up way faster than anybody expected. Private security companies are a part of this. The United Nations has a very tenuous grip on what's going on. And then an act of rebellion due to a relocation kind of program from the UN sparks a small uprising in one of the colony areas. And that's where you find yourself in the Cowager universe. You are commanding private military corporations or small state-sponsored groups in direct action raids. No big wars, but there is stuff going on behind the scenes in the first season of Killwager.
Right on.
Yeah.
It's that we were talking on Discord the other day, and you were like, "Wow, man, Wayward Galaxy sounds like this."
Yep.
That's dope. Yeah. I'm loving these models. That you can see the axe wielders right there. Those are the guys with the little jetpacks on their hips, right?
Yeah. The one guy back behind him near that Caspier, that South African armored Vic, he's got one of the jetpacks on him.
Hell yeah! And these are the Manticore guys, right?
Manticore, yeah.
We try not to. Yeah. We try not to show favoritism, but but like look at these models. Some of these models are just like 10 pounds of dope in a 4-pound bag. I mean, like look at this trudging along self-propelled drone right there, gun drone. That's great. Where did you get the inspiration for that?
Yeah, so small infantry tactics and small unit tactics describe a lot of the design. So I wanted some kind of automated defense system, very similar to stuff they'd use on patrols in Vietnam. Obviously not an automated gun, but they wanted something similar to that. You'd have a point man, they'd set up some kind of sentry. If you're using a small unit like this, because you can't have larger units, why not automate it? You do your direct action raid, you set up a gun or a truck or a gun in the back of your truck, and if it starts shooting, bad guys are coming up on you while you're in the middle of this house, stuff like that. Yeah.
Right on. And that guy in the white with the blue vest, is he a combat camera? He looks scared.
He's an auditor. They basically are attached based on which power you're fighting for. So if you're fighting for a state power, they'll send one of these guys along, and he'll kind of oversee you and oversee the mission. Because if you actually engage targets that you haven't identified, and it turns out they're a civilian after the game, you lose points.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he's the observer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, God, this terrain in these models are just, oh my God.
That looks really amazing. Yeah, I kind of want to try this out. I'm not really a miniatures guy, but just these look so cool, and the fact they can play in 20 minutes and not kill
20 minutes, right?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I'm thinking that we hook up the rule set, right, and then one of us sets up a table. I have a dual camera, so we could set up a table and then stream this right on the show.
That would be awesome. I would love that.
But for anybody who wanted to take a look, if you go to the Kickstarter page, where that
which
link
is helpfully
right below. Yeah. Julian has a couple of battle reports on there. The first one he did, he used the Galaxy's Edge minis.
I did. Yeah, I used the core rules for the game, which are even faster than the 20-minute kind of hardcore rules. I think we got that game done in about 15 minutes with 8 models on each side. And we kind of just played through a very simple, it's called the NASDAQ engagement. That's just very simple. You got to grab some intel and get out of there.
Yeah, that's great. Oh my God, these models are just a crazy killer. I mean, just and this, which tier is this? This is the 120.
Yep, so that's the give me all that one, or excuse me, that's the 2-player stack 'em box. So you get 2 squads, you get those 3 auditors in the front, you get the objectives behind them, those little yellow things, you get the equipment, and then you get the interdiction suites in the back. Or instead of the interdiction suites, if you want a more modern feel, you can get a female PMC and some civilians. And it comes with all the dice and physical rules. And free shipping. We unlock free shipping for it. So international free shipping on that box.
Oh, you must have a hell of a budget, man, because I am scared of international shipping. I got to tell you.
We've got some really nice hookups.
We lost you there for a second, Julian. Microphone's going weird. Nothing.
Very faint, sir.
How about now?
Yes.
All
We're
right,
back.
sweet. It's a very particular angle. So we got some good hookups on that shipping, which makes it possible, and that larger funding goal.
Okay.
I got to tell you, the Enemy Spotted Studios exclamation point in the back, the little Sandy, that's dope. Yeah, definitely cool. So you guys have smashed through your initial funding goal.
Yeah, it looks like you've hit all your stretch goals too that I could find on there.
Yeah, we're narrowing in on the last one, which I honestly threw up a couple of days ago because I was like, can I swear? I was like, oh, crap, like, oh, we need to get some new stretch goals going on. So we're going to actually, the last one is 25 grand, and it's the new interdiction suite. So I've got a suite kind of bipedal robot that has the option to be either manned or a remote system, and it's pretty wild. I'll see if I can actually bring it up on my screen while you guys are talking.
Yeah, I just got there's a profile. Oh, is that Walt sharing something?
Yeah, that's one of the battle reports that they did.
Okay. Yeah, if you can get an image, we can share it. It looks like on the Kickstarter, you just kind of have like a profile.
Yeah, it's supposed to be kind of like a spooky digital ghost image.
I can share that if you want.
Yeah, I'm actually. Can I share my screen or Joey?
Yeah, you can share your screen down below in the controls.
Killer.
Yeah, there's a little button that says share.
Awesome.
It's almost like we've planned this.
Let's get this on.
Did you guys see Space Force just debuted their dress uniforms today?
I saw that.
Did they? How bad are they?
Battlestar Galactica.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
So this is the new interdiction suite we've been working on, and it's got several options. So if you see here, there's actually the pilot's arms, and he would sit inside the chassis there, sitting down. So those arms are optional, so you can either run it as piloted or a remote system, and it's pretty badass. We designed it's very RPK looking kind of system here with the drum mag at the front. It is kind of Manicore inspired, but more generic. We have a couple of unique things. So this option here at the front, this head is like where the pilot would see out of, because if you actually had something up top, it would be very disorienting for a pilot inside. You wouldn't be able to kind of use your hands and everything like that. So we have this for the pilot. Then up top is more of a sensor suite, some short-range missile systems. Interdiction suites are designed as a platoon-level asset to interdict kind of defended positions or armored vehicles for, infantry platoons, act as a entrenched position if they can. It's got some hip mag pouches on the side for its drums. And on the back, let me spin the sucker around. Ignore all the flying stuff around it. Those are other pieces. You can actually ride on the back. So this is actually another model I haven't released yet. She's like a hacker, but you can see how she scales up and she can actually ride on the back. You wouldn't put a physical model on there. I'm sculpting a specific rider, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
You just hit my Titanfall. I just love them.
Yep. So you can actually ride them in game, and they can smash through walls and stuff. Yeah. So that's
now. Here's the question: what's the in-game advantage to a piloted versus a non-piloted mech?
Yeah, so piloted mechs are actually cheaper, but they suffer from things like pinning. So if it takes a ton of firepower, it'll duck back. While a remote piloted mech ignores all sorts of pinning and stuff like that. It doesn't care. It's a remote pilot, but EMP weapons will actually damage it, while this can get shut down and the pilot can eject and keep fighting.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So you can disable them or actually hack them because it's a remote connection and just completely shut them down.
That's fantastic.
So that's the bad boy there.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Nice.
Badass.
So what's next for Kill? What's
Kill Wager?
Kill Wager.
Kill Wager.
I'm not going to brag or anything, but it's the what do you call it? The name's in the link.
It is right there. That's true. Sorry. It's
You're
COVID,
good, man.
right?
It's the NyQuil.
It's the NyQuil and the Dayquil and the Alka-Seltzer Plus. There's just a lot of chemicals going on right now.
The cocktail going on. Yeah.
It's hard for me to be vertical if I'm sitting up. It's just a lot of energy. Anyway, that's boring. Hey, Powwow Chief is really impressed with this.
Yeah.
I'm guessing this is a friend of yours.
I don't know.
Right on.
All right, cool. So this is season 1. What's season 2?
Yeah, so the seasonal drops for Kill Wager will include new equipment, new missions, stuff like that. Nothing necessary to play the game. Only additional kind of fun assets or things you can do to the game. They'll also include storyline advancements, which will be available to everyone, advancing the kind of narrative of Kill Wager. It'll also revolve around the new designs. So, for example, if the UN makes a heavier presence in Season 2, you'll probably see some UN models coming out based on the missions submitted. In addition to that, new rules will be added as an option for the engagements and the missions. So, like if a specific mission has something, I'll write in the rules for it. None of it is limited. We are looking at expanding the universe next year into several kind of very up in the air ideas. We have been tossing around the word platoon wager a bit.
Ooh.
I don't know if I can talk about that a whole lot yet, but it is a much a larger scale, obviously. But that's about it that I can tell you so far.
Would the larger scale still be able to be played in 20 minutes?
That's the intent. And while testing still needs to be done, we are pretty much on spot with that.
Awesome.
The only variable is just how slow you move your models. Yeah. The core of the game is very, very simple. You shoot at people, you enter a state. Depending on your state, you get different modifiers. There's no tracking of information other than what state a model is in. So it's not like if I shoot at you in cover, but I have this weapon system and this upgrade to it, I ignore your cover. It's not anything like that. It's basically if I'm moving, this is how accurate I am. Are you in cover? That's going to affect the accuracy, but you only take the worst one. So if you're hard at shooting, but you're in good cover, so it's very hard at shooting, you take very hard at shooting. There's no adding or modifiers or anything like that.
And that's what the D6s represent on the board. It's what the model state is, right?
Yeah, exactly. So for core mode, you have 0. You don't put a D6 down if you haven't activated yet. If you activate it and do something, you enter state 1, which means you can still react and shoot somebody. If you do something technical, you enter state 2, which doesn't allow you to do that. 3 means you're pinned down, and 4 means you need medical attention. That's all. You can't activate them. And then for hardcore mode, it's the same ones, but then you add in things like bleeding out instead of medical attention. And then when you heal yourself from bleeding out, you can then enter head wound, arm wound, or leg wound, which is just another side of the D6 to track it, and it affects you.
So this is like my Tuesday then.
Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting life, folks.
Yeah,
All right.
Everything's broken.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's not broken is this Kickstarter, because this looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, this looks great. I agree. So cool.
How have you put the tier up yet for like a couple of grand for like somebody to buy in to come and play at the ESS studio?
No, but I mean, if somebody DMs me and wants to work it out, let's go. I'm all game. I'm tired of slapping Butcher around in the battle reports and the other couple guys we got local here.
Oh, right on. That'd be dope.
We do have the custom miniature though. $1,500 gets you everything in the $400 pledge, so you get everything in the Kickstarter plus a custom miniature and your name in the rule book and like background of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that is pretty cool. Oh, you guys ever play around with virtual tabletops? Like I know there's a tabletop simulator program on Steam. You guys ever? I could just see this being amazing in that kind of a venue.
Yeah, so very early on in the Kickstarter, the beta testing, when we had a very scattered group, we played a couple of games on Tabletop Sim as well as made a kind of custom mod for it for tracking info. For me, it doesn't do the trick. I got to have little toys in my hands and got to make gun sounds and stuff. But a lot of guys were really enjoying the TTS as well as the option to play more games. They didn't have as big of a local group, or they were in more lockdown heavy states like New York. We're over here in Midwest. We made sure we were okay and then just hung out. That's how we were out here, not to break any rules. But
I gotcha. Where are you at?
We're out of Minneapolis.
Oh, okay. I'm in Colorado. So
okay, awesome.
Sweet. All right. Well, I think we've covered it.
Hell yeah.
We got the link down below, kickstarter.com/projects/killwager, going on for about 3 more weeks, a little bit longer. And you can get in on all this fun we just showed you. So you should check it out.
Oh, yeah. Pledges start at $25 with the digital rules and go up from there.
Yep. Walt, any closing thoughts?
No, I think we slammed it. Hey, Julian, thank you so much for coming out and kind of sharing this so that it gets out to more than just those 3 guys who like models.
Absolutely. No, thank you for having me. It's been really fun. I like the production quality going on. I wish I didn't have my monitor in the way. It looks kind of less than you guys with the swords and stuff, but this is awesome. Well done.
Well, Walt's really got the good setup with the swords. I just have like 5K medals back there. So yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, hey, just to emphasize that we are a high quality, custom, handcrafted podcast. Let me play the outro. That never gets old. Thanks for listening to the BAMF podcast, folks, and we will catch you next time.
Peace.